See, I've been watching the Premier League for years and years and years, and I've never seen a team spend so much money in a short space of time as Chelsea have now. I remember when Chelsea first got bought after Carlton Cole scored that goal on the last day of the season. They won, I think, 1-0, got them in the Champions League, and Abramovich bought them for a cup of coffee. Well, at least it is with the money he had, or the money he's got. I remember one season where Real Madrid broke the transfer record twice in one window. I think they bought Kaká and Zidane. They might have even bought a couple of other top players. But what Chelsea have done over the last two windows is crazy. They have spent 500-600 million, and they found an ingenious way to do it. Now, I can't explain it, but I found an article that I'm going to break down slowly and try and understand what's been going on. Explained how Chelsea have avoided financial fair play sanctions despite January transfer window spending spree. Chelsea have broken through 600 million in transfer spending since takeover, with completion of Enzo Fernandez signing from Benfica. Co-owner and chairman Ted Bowley has been securing players on long-term contracts. Financial fair play rules have been navigated, but how? That is the question. How? How have they managed to sign, even before Ted took over? So that's all going to be considered in terms of financial fair play. They spent hella money on Havertz, Pulisic, Ziyech, even Lukaku, and these are all players to come back. Anyway, Chelsea smashed the British transfer records, spent more than the other four big leagues combined, and had hits and misses in an incredible window. They spent more money than the other four big leagues combined. In total, Chelsea splashed over 323 million on 8 players in January. That's more than the clubs in the Italian, German, French and Spanish league top flights combined. Benfica's Enzo Fernandez was the most expensive player of the lot, with the 106.8 million outlay, the most ever paid by a Premier League club for a player. Don't get me wrong, I think he's a good player. I think he's a very good player, but he's not worth 100 million. No way. So I don't know what you're paying for. If you're paying for a bit of, what they're going to be in the future. I forgot what the word for it. But they're paying for what he could become as well as what he's worth to the club now. Maybe 60 million, 70 million. I'm just comparing them to other good players. But at the same time, Real Madrid did go out and spend 100 million euros on Tchouaméni, who I didn't think was worth that either. But all it takes is 1 or 2 good seasons and you forget about the money. So anyway, first we tackle the issue of financial fair play and how Chelsea have been able to spend such huge sums and stay within the rules. The UEFA FFP regulations are designed to limit excessive spending, and there are also Premier League rules which put a cap on the losses a club can suffer over a 3-year period. Large fines or points deductions can be dished out as punishment to clubs which do not adhere to the rules. So is it a rolling 3-year period? So let's say we're in 2023, 2022, 2023 season. Does that include 22, 23, 21, 22 and 2021? And then from next season it will be 23, 24, 22, 23 and 21, 22. Okay, I'm just trying to think about this in real time. But with the Blues agreeing a 106.8 million transfer for Fernandez, new Chelsea co-owner Todd Bowley will have overseen a spend of 600 million since the takeover in May 2022, and they appear to have stayed within the guidelines. So that's 2 windows. That's last window in 22, and the window now, So this graphic shows transfer expenditure since summer 2022. So 601.7 million and sold 61 million. Net spend 540 million. Okay, whatever. Okay, so 601. Okay. Football finance expert Kieran Maguire spoke to Sky Sports to explain how are Chelsea squaring this incredible outlay of money since Bowley took over. What Chelsea have decided to do is to spread the cost of players by signing them on very long contracts. So by signing Mykhailo Mudryk on an 8.5-year contract, the way it is dealt with for accounting and FFP purposes is you take the 88 million cost and you divide that over 8.5 years, and it works out as just over 10 million a year. Wait a minute, that's 88 million on Mudryk and 100 odd million on Fernandes. Okay, that appears to be the Chelsea strategy that they have employed over the last couple of windows. So that would be the same for players such as Benoit Badiashile, who signed a 7-year deal. 7-year deal, an 8.5-year deal. I remember when these kinds of deals were kind of unheard of. I remember when Kane got offered the 6-year deal, and I was thinking, don't be mad, don't sign that. And he did. And I remember when the report came out that Atletico offered Inaki Williams a 9-year deal. And I always knew, he should sign that because he doesn't want to go anywhere else, and he had the record of playing every game since he started playing for the first team. Anyway, absolutely it can work both ways for Chelsea. If the players really develop and are a huge success, it gives the club protection for when other potential clubs come in and try to poach those players, because they will still have many years left on their contract. Yeah, but clubs don't poach players off Chelsea. That doesn't happen. Not really. The downside is, if the player doesn't perform, then you've got the complication of they are likely to be on very high wages, and you are committed to those wages for the next 6, 7 or 8 years. Therefore, if it works, it's fantastic. But if not, it is weighing the club down, a bit like an anchor slowing things down. Yeah, but clubs like Chelsea don't care. But I imagine it would be a problem. Say if Badiashile or Mudryk don't do what they say or think they're going to become, you can't just go out and sign a replacement because you can't get rid of him. This is crazy. How far can this strategy stretch? Could Chelsea keep doing this, keep giving long contracts, and therefore still be okay in terms of FFP? The issues will be that you're restricted to a 25-man squad as far as both the Premier League and UEFA are concerned. Yeah, but if you're 21 and under, from what I remember in the Premier League, you don't need to be registered. You can play. You don't count as one of the 25-man squad, so you can have as many players as you want, 21 and under, I suppose. You can't just keep adding to the player roster. Remember that each of these players is likely to be in a contract that is worth 7, 8 or 9 million a year. All of a sudden, you've got more players on these big contracts, and then your wage bill goes up by 50 million or 60 million. And with the new UEFA financial sustainability rules, which are starting to come into effect from next summer, you're only allowed to spend 90%, then 80%, and then 70% on your income on wages, agents' fees, and your net transfer costs. Okay, that's why he's gone mad, because he's decided to do what he can before the new rules come in place. Yeah, I see it. It's worth it. Okay. If Chelsea don't qualify for the Champions League next season, will that affect their spending in the transfer windows to come? Yes, it would be restricted if Chelsea are not in the Champions League next season. If we take a look at Chelsea when they won the Champions League in 2021, that generated about 120 million euros in prize money. It's 106 million pounds. You normally expect to make 3 to 4 million for each home game. And that is taking place at Stamford Bridge as well. There will be bonuses from sponsors. Now, if you then compare that to Europa League, for every £1 you make in Europa League, you're making around about £4.50 in the Champions League. So there's a significant knock-on effect if you don't qualify. I don't think they're going to make it this season, but maybe they're not. I don't know. Has the spending since Bowley took over surprised you? It has surprised me to a certain extent because given that Bowley's background is that of a private equity where the main aim traditionally is to hollow out the cost and to try to make the business more attractive to future owners, you would be surprised that it is committing itself to such a large commitment in terms of cash flow, in terms of both transfer spend and wages. So I think it has taken a lot of people by surprise compared to the largest, don't know, we saw under Roman Abramovich. So that's when he spent all that money on Essien, Drogba, all that. That's what I remember as the biggest kind of outlay in one window. Remember, Chelsea lost 900 grand a week under Abramovich over his 19-year period of ownership. 900 grand a week. That's a mil a week. 52 million a year. Jeez. Okay. Selected incomings under Todd Bowley. Mark Guerrera, 60 million, 6-year contract, 10 million a year. Raheem Sterling, 47.5 million a contract, 47.5 million 5-year contract, say 50 million, 10 million a year. Koulibaly, 33 million, 4-year contract. What's the maths on that? 4, 8, 12, 16, 24, 16, 20, 24, 28, 32, 6, 7, 8 mil a year. Carney Chukwuemeka, I like that guy from Villa. 20 million 6-year contract, and it goes on. Look at all these players. Fofana, Aubameyang. Zakaria is a loan. Badiashile, Fofana. Who's that? Is that the Fofana from Leicester? No, that's Wesley. Who's this guy? Okay. Andre Santos, João Felix, Mudryk, Madueke. He's the lefty in it that plays on the right, plays for England under 21s. Malo Gusto, I don't know who that is. 7.5-year deals, bro. Enzo, look at this. Okay. How relevant is FFP? Can clubs always find ways to skirt around the rules? There's an element of whack-a-mole in terms of every time we see a new series of rules come in, the accountants and lawyers look at them from a forensic point of view and try to identify the stresses and the weaknesses contained within those rules. Then what we tend to see is that the regulators try to respond to that. Certainly, looking at these rules, I think there are opportunities for clubs to perhaps be what we might describe as a little bit creative with some of the ways that they acknowledge their costs, and therefore this is likely to lead to future conflict between the administrators of the game and individual clubs who perhaps have a more fast and loose approach to the moral, ethical issues surrounding financial and sustainability rules. Okay. It just means that it's just like any rule in society. Those that want to operate at the highest level using those rules will always find creative ways to observe the rule and not break it, but to do more with it. UEFA's rule change in response. Chelsea's strategy won't be able to be copied by rivals in the future, though, with UEFA moving to close the loophole around stretching transfer fees over long contracts. From the summer, clubs will only be able to spread transfer fees over a 5-year period. However, these rules will not be applied retrospectively, which benefits Chelsea. This goes back to what I was just saying. He looked at it, the new rules coming in. I think the rules said 70, 80 and 90%. Yeah, here we go. From next summer, you're only allowed to spend 90, 80 and 70% of your income on transfer costs and agent fees. And he said to himself, well, I want to invest heavily into the team. I've got a commitment to the team, commitment to invest a certain amount over a certain period of time. This way I can help out the new manager and do it more efficiently under the current rules before the new rules come in. I've always thought that UEFA or FIFA recommended 5-year contracts as a maximum, but I did see other longer term contracts, and now they're saying transfer fees So they're not saying you can't offer long contracts. They're just saying transfer fees now will only be allowed to be spread over a 5-year period, which kind of makes sense. That's half a decade. Imagine you're a club and you can get your money. Actually, that's not nothing to do with the buying club. This is just only what you have to declare. Okay, fair enough. Wait a minute. From the common clubs will only be able to spread their transfer fees over a 5-year deal. Is that what they declare or what they pay the selling club? Anyway, Chelsea's squad size dilemma. Who can they register for the Champions League and Premier League? Chelsea's squad is now... this is what I was talking about with the players on 21 and under. Chelsea's squad is now up to 33 players. However, the Premier League squad limit is for 25 with only 17 non-homegrown players allowed. They must commit their 25-player squad list for the remainder of the season by Thursday, February the 2nd. They can also only name 3 players in their Champions League squad. Name 3 new players in their Champions League squad, and with the deadline for that decision at 11 p.m. on Thursday. This deadline cannot be extended. The 3 new players could have played for another club in European competitions this season. Malo Gusto is staying on loan at Lyon, and Andre Santos is waiting for a work permit. So Graham Potter will have to choose 3 players for his Champions League squad from these 6. Enzo Fernandez, Mudryk, Felix, Badiashile, Fofana, Madueke. Now, I'm going to go with the top 3 are going to get picked. But the centre-back needs to get in. That's mad. I need to check that now. What's today? Oh, it's going to be... Okay. Chelsea are playing Borussia Dortmund in the round of 16. They are away in Germany for the first leg on February the 15th before welcoming the Bundesliga side to Stamford Bridge on March the 7th. Carragher, Chelsea approach for scattergun. I think I saw that. I don't care about that. This is transcript of that was transcript of Carragher's interview about it. Okay. So this is the Bowley buys a player signed from the start of the 2022 transfer window. Jeez, including current ages. Cucurella, Sterling. Someone should do like a quiz in a year and someone can name, say, 25 out of the 30 odd players he signed or whatever. Eddie Beach, young goalkeeper, joined Chelsea in June, has gone into the development squad. Okay. Murray Hutchinson, yeah. Chukwuemeka, yeah. Don't know who this guy is. 20, highly rated young. He ain't coming to play. They spent 500 million on players for now. He ain't coming to play. Wesley Fofana, yeah, he's injured quite a lot. Aubameyang, Zakaria, Badiashile. This guy's big. I saw him play. He's massive. Don't know who this other Fofana is. What is he? What position is he? I don't know. Oh, he made his debut. Okay, Andre Santos, Joao Felix, Mudryk, Madueke, Gusto. That's the right back in it. Yeah, it is. Enzo Fernandez. The deal for the Argentines surpasses the 100 million paid for Jack Grealish. This is madness. Okay. I hope that explains. I think I get it, most of it. So what they're doing is signing players and spreading the transfer fee over the length of the contract. So say Enzo Fernandez, just say it's 100 mil. He's got 8-year contract. It's like 11, 12 million a season. So they're going to be paying out, let's say, 150 million a season across all these players, maybe 200 million a season on transfers. Does that sound right? Like, let's just assume they're doing that. Nah, they're not. They're not. They're paying 11 mil for him. How many players do they say they've signed? But they're going to get rid of some, aren't they? Anyway, don't know how much it is. But I hope you got a better understanding from that little article that I read from Sky Sports about the transfers, because I got a little bit more understanding, but I'm interested to know what that total figure is. All these players total together, what is the total figure for they're going to be paying across every season? So you're going to add the 10 million from Fernando's, the 8 or 9 million from Mudryk, and whatever added up or totaled up across the season. I want to see that. Thanks for watching.